All right, guys. So that was an awesome panel. Thank you once again to Nadia Hand, aka Siren, from Observe the Word, for putting together that awesome, like moderating that awesome panel. Also, thank you to the panelists Neil Ray, Yogi with Two Eyes, Stephanie Tough Love Brown, and Sharice Reese Johnson for dropping jewels for everybody to let them know about the Fayetteville poetry history. It's it is exciting right now. Like, I've been waiting on this particular, I've been waiting on all of the panels and everything, but this particular one with the people we got on here, I'm excited. So I am done talking. I am about to give y'all a 30-second window to get yourself ready, because we're about to get into the Pillars of Fayetteville Showcase, hosted by Godfather of Poetry himself, Neil Ray. Give us about 30 seconds and this thing will be going. So we love y'all and thank y'all for supporting the Southern Regional North Carolina Poetry Festival.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Southeastern Regional North Carolina Poetry Festival. And of course, this is the Pillars of Fayetteville Poetry Session. I'm your host, Neil Ray. You probably see me around doing things and you probably say, who that guy? Well, that's who that guy is. So I'm glad to be here tonight. I also want to give thanks to all of the wonderful artists, musicians, that just blessed us during this event. It's been something wonderful and all that good stuff. Now, I'm not going to take up too much of your time right from the beginning. I'll be interjecting stuff in between the mix along the way. But I'm going to give thanks to all of the wonderful poets I've got coming to the mic tonight. And one of them it caused me to switch around my stuff. But that's okay. I'm flexible. That's why I've been running the coffee scene so long. That's why we're going to let him go first, and then I'll bring in some other stuff later on. But I'm going to take the opportunity to bring in a gentleman. If you saw him earlier today, he's definitely a youth inspirator. He's led youth teams of poetry from Grace Creek High School, homegrown, good guy, and he made a lot of sense during this afternoon session earlier. So I'm going to let him make some sense now and give us a couple of his best, because now it's time for us to hear him. And that's Mr. Joel Mayo.
How's it going, Neil?
How you doing, Joel, sir?
Good. I'm at a wedding right now, so I snuck into my cousin's room.
Oh, okay. Well, good. We'll let you go. I know you were weatherizing, but that's okay. Yeah. Joel Mayo, folks.
All right, so this first piece I'm going to do, and I really didn't get into poetry like that until I started coaching. And I thought, like, hey, if I'm going to make my students do it, I need to do it myself. So I wrote this piece after I lost 3 students in 1 year. It was one of the worst years of my life. It was terrible. So I think this is just one of my ways to kind of cope with that. And this is called teacher training. They never told me how it feels the first time you hear the news. Your gut sinks in, the world stops, your mind races, and you remain silent until you can no longer breathe. And while time continues to move on, your world has shattered, every glass shard of your existence a reminder that the one image you will no longer be seeing is theirs. They never taught me how to prepare for that first day back, how everyone's sadness and pain become mixed into one part anxiety, 2 parts hugs and tears, and a dash of cliche sayings that aim to comfort but ultimately fail to do so. So no matter how much you drink, they'll only become a reminder that they're no longer here. And our spirits went with them. People come to comfort and listen, but you stay in your classroom because you want to appear strong and together. You want to be the glue that keeps this distraught vessel from breaking. But when your wall is crumbling down too, and your gravel is 2 seconds from dripping down at all times, it gets hard not to let that dam break and just let the river run through. But I try. But they never told me what to say when a student breaks down in class, when trying to keep it together gets too hard, when the student was her best friend or his best friend or their best friend, when they had issues before the incident, they regret never saying sorry or saying I love you or saying goodbye. What do I say? I never learned about this in college. This wasn't part of the curriculum. I only learned about pedagogy and lesson plans, but what do you do when you plan to see a student again? And sadly, that lesson doesn't go according to plan. They never told me it would be this hard. They said that they become your babies, that they will get on your nerves. You might not like them, but love is going to be there as if you were their parent. However, they never told me you would grow attached, that these babies you love will be the reason you wake up in the morning, that you will feed them, comfort them, make them feel special, help them grow to be outstanding adults, to be strong. But they never told me how it would feel to lose your child. To hear that an accident has happened, that it was your student, your pride and joy, that smile you saw every day is no longer breathing, and that you will forever have to live with the fact you never said goodbye. That the face you got used to seeing is now a memory, a constant reminder that every day you say goodbye, you need to say it with love, because you never know when it's going to be the last. They never taught you how to be ready, how to be strong, how to let go. But sadly, there are lessons that can't be taught. You just have to learn for yourself. I only hope I never have to keep learning this lesson. Thank you. This next one, or my last one for tonight, I wanted to do this one because it's National Suicide Awareness Month, and it's very important to me, not just as a suicide survivor, but as a teacher with students who have sadly committed suicide before, and students just with mental health issues, of course. And we always try to be there. So I kind of wrote this as somewhat of another way to cope and inspiration as well. So this is called Childhood Memories. You never forget your first time on the pedal. I remember being a little kid, full of anxiety that I was going to do it wrong. No more training wheels for this lad. I'm a big kid now. I stood tall, grabbed control of the handle, and took my first attempt at suicide for a spin. I was 7 years old. At 7, most kids don't quite understand what death is, but for me, a window from the 3rd floor meant all the pain went away. Most kids were just playing with toys, yet I was playing with emotional breakdowns, and suicide was the only thing on my Christmas list. The second time I tried it, I was 10. I remember every last bruise made, imitating X-Men, but back then I wasn't no Wolverine. My scars healed, my bruise faded, but mentally Joel wasn't okay. All it took was daddy to make me feel unwanted and unloved, and to think about the best way to cut away life with that adamantium claws was that knife. Thankfully, it wasn't enough, and no one found out. The third time I played games of suicide was in high school. Life was like a game of spades. Every time I thought about throwing down an ace, someone or something hit me with the joker, and it wasn't the small one either. Big joker came knocking, and I was tired of being shuffled back into the mind of others. Cutting cards became cutting hard, and it was hard to keep playing. The last time I tried to commit suicide, I was no longer a kid. Parents divorced, plus brother in jail, divided by girl problems in school, equaled it was finally enough. I thought maybe I could play with cars, take this Honda Civic for a spin like Hot Wheels, except this time there's no reloading my track. I'm going 100 miles per hour towards that wall and launching it into one final stunt. But then I realized I was still so young. Life had yet to fully blossom. I could take these toys, and instead of putting them back into my chest to play later, I freed them, put them on display, and live. I spent years making suicide my imaginary friend, and it was time to give life an ad on Facebook. I look back, 10 years since my last attempt, happy that suicide was just a childhood memory and not reality like so many others. I say this to anyone who has ever considered it or thinks about it to this day: you will be fine. You are loved. And you too can make it just a memory. Thank you.
Outstanding. Both pieces, heart spilling, man. God, I know why you teach youth now. It's life. It's life-giving to them and to you. It's a life-giving to them and to you.
Thank
so
you.
Do a wonderful
Thank you so
job.
much.
And thank you very much. And everything. So I'm gonna let you get to your wedding, man. But please, from the depths of my heart, man, I feel you. I feel you. All right. Oh man, that was deep. That was very good. So check out Joel and check out his poetic pathos slam team. Those guys are absolutely stunning. They will make you understand things. So next on my list is a lady who was one of the first voices I remember at the coffee scene, and she just keeps going and going and going. I could call her the Energizer Bunny, but I'm not, because it's not fair. She's better than that. So I'm going to let her speak her own terms, and you'll understand what I mean. With a little peanut butter on the side, Miss Yogi with 2 eyes.
Neil, I love you.
I'm just telling her like it is.
Yes. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you, Neil. Energize money. We're gonna see about that. Okay, so I just finished saying, let that first poem be it what you remembered by. So I'm gonna do my signature piece first, and then I'm gonna share a new writing with you. This is a letter to the abused, those battered, used, and bruised, those told to be ashamed, told time and time again that hand to face and fist to throat are the only ways you ever get love. Can't help but look down while trying to get up. And while words went in one ear, they were slowly messing with your mind. You were foolishly thinking, he loves me. He loves me. He's just having a rough time. In time, this letter will make sense to you. You were made to be his soft place, but you're not bold enough to be, too brittle to be invincible. And with each blow, you know you have to go. And you too hurt to let anyone else know, but don't think they don't see those bruises. Suspect the abuses, as love has you hiding him. And as you're hiding him, he's sprinkling in how nobody else will ever want you. And the once sure shoulders of friends have now turned cold. They remembered you when you used to be bold. Bold enough to take a stand, not take no crap from no man. Now you're just broken. And you don't hear anything past the general day-to-day conversations, and they're tired of waiting for you to get from underneath his thumb now. And he's so bold now. Everyone has watched him grab you up by your shoulders, get face-to-face with you, call you dumb, bitch, pointing at the ground saying, sit, and you do. See, this letter is for you when you know who you are. Shades in the wintertime, MAC to cover scars, and scarves to hide handprints that have marked your seemingly delicate skin. This letter is for you. Your belief that love is face-to-face is ill-conceived. Please believe that there is someone out there who will love you, build you. I'm not saying it won't take time. I'm just saying, before you free yourself, free your mind. And I know you're wondering how I can write you this letter line for line. Because, sweetie, I used to be you. I can sign this letter sincerely, formally, abused in peace. So that's my first piece. And that was lived. That was worked through with the pen. And just know that you have help. You don't deserve it. You can get out of a bad situation. Now, I want to give you a little fresh ink, if you will. Just bear with me. It is still on the phone, so it's not memorized yet. But as a writer, we go through writing workshops and we do different things that spark different emotions. So this came from a writing workshop. I can't speak. Okay. Little something we do on the thing. We just say fresh ink. All right, let me make sure I got it. Don't worry about me. That's all I'm gonna say before I start the piece. Don't worry about me. Here we go. I wonder if I'll be the type of mom to bury my daughter alive, to suffocate her with my unbirthed dreams that died the day that she was born. I wonder if I will trade in dreams and goals for clean house and iron sheets that she will be required to replicate. I wonder if I will hold her hostage to my expectations, my realizations that dreams are sometimes just that, dreams. I wonder if I will block out her black girl magic because I have emptied all I had in my bag. I wonder if I will hold grudge, get jealous of her success, and remind her that all she has, I could have had if I didn't have her. And I wonder if I will be so broken that I won't believe she could have better. Better yet, will I not want her to be better than me? Will I gaze at her beauty and wonder how it beget my bitter? How, if poked at my pride, will that guy that comes for her hand catch hell from me because the guy never caught me? Will I wedge my past into her present and destroy her future? I wonder on a day when I'm crying while washing dishes, will the water overflow to the floor with regrets? Will I vacuum up the leftover black girl magic that remained when she decided to leave? Will I be broken and bitter in a plastic covered house no one can touch, trying to be like the daughter I killed, not realizing she part of me, particles of black magic curated from my spell? Will I forget I taught her the same strength that slips from my soul? Will I wish her anything other than the best, better than me could be? I wonder if I will be the type of mom to bury my daughter alive. I wonder if I will nightly haunt home with my half-healed wounds, call it midnight hour musing, meditating on the moments only memory can edit, rain tears of regrets I haven't come to terms with yet, stumble while trying to solidify my importance while making you feel less than. I wonder if I'll be the type of mother to bury my daughter alive, prim and proper her curls and bows, even when she shows me that's not her promise, to shovel dirt on decisions she needs strength enough to make in my safety, taking away a layer of protection and missing all the skill sets in learning how to choose mothers, black mothers. Some be more aged than mother, more coach than mother, more stage mom than mother, more pimp than mother, more habit ring holder, more the precious, more broken mirror in the reflection of having a girl kind of mother, more broken that you'll go through what I went through kind of mother. Maybe I can be the I'll give you everything I never had because I'll ask you what you need kind of mother. I'll show up and not show out, but show interest kind of mother. Maybe I won't get it all right, but I'll never bury you in a grave I saw fit to lay in. I wonder if she'll be mad at me for saying everything I don't want to be. I just pray that the dirt underneath my nails don't give away I was digging her grave. Thank you.
Man, you got people throwing tables in there, girl. Oh, that was, folks. The volume of Yogi and her direction is one reason why I've always appreciated her work and why she's been able to share it so well with all of us. And I know it's motivated a lot of the young artists around there, both male and female. So your workshops are paying off, Marlon. Thank you so very, very much for what you do.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. And
thank you.
And Sheila, I say hello too.
She's okay. Yeah. She's okay. There's nothing wrong with the baby. She's fine.
Yeah.
It's just apologize.
I love the way that flows. So thank you. Man, this is already I got emotions and energies flowing. I'll be up for a while, even after the after party. Well, I'm drinking scotch, so it'll probably help out. But anyway, all the things that matter in the depth of all situations. This next artist is a gentleman that came to the coffee scene a couple of times, got the hunger, as I've said, and all new artists should have. And he went out and created an open mic just down the street. And he ran it for a long time until they went their way, but it didn't stop him. And through his own understanding, he has 2 great books of poetry out. So saith the news, the epic of hell freeze, or the epic of hell freeze, so saith the news, and the metaphysician's daughter. And believe me, they're great. They're on Amazon, and he's a good friend. He sat with me while I was going through my moments, and I can't thank him enough. So let's bring in the power, Mr. AKA Dick.
Hey, good evening, buddy. How you doing?
I am well, sir. How about you?
Doing good. I've got two pieces for you, of course. One I've read before a couple times, and I think it's pretty apropos given the current climate. And then another one is a new one I wasn't going to read, but then I heard Yogi read, and then everybody else, and I thought, gotta whip out my A game.
Yeah, throw fresh ink out in there, bro.
Yep, fresh ink. So this first piece is called Watercolor. In the ancient Appalachian, I say it, in the ancient Appalachian, it is written, your soul resides in your saliva. My grandpappy told me this as he chewed tobacco, sharing little pieces of himself all over the ground. He would instinctively spit whenever we walked by colored folk, as he called them. Tell me, what's the definition of charity? I pondered these things along the banks of the Cape Fear. I watched the currents carry themselves to their siblings in the sea. I wondered how many souls the ocean contained. Now, years later, I walk my little girl to school in the rain, where she plays with her best friend whose black skin glistens in that wet light. Tell me, where does one soul end and another begin? And that was Watercolor. And the next piece is called The Source of Suffering. They say the source of suffering is desire, that even in mourning the passing of its prey, the heart must hunt, though the heart heals by breaking. Looking at you, how could I not, as I circled that chimeric beast, the Coriolis carrying me around its twin heads, calling and cursing as I danced a jig between those jaws. My prize, those tongue-lolling, codependent heads of disdain and desired, but oh, winning was losing as I handed you my heart, a supplicant at the altar of your sex, the pyre flaring higher in the night. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Oh man, you're definitely a treasure. You're a good job, beautiful treasure, and you're one of those unique voices that make things wonderful for us. And I've got several people back here that agree with me, so I've got
Yes, sir.
So keep up the good work, my friend, and
Thank you.
we'll be talking soon.
Oh, we will.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
While I got a moment, I want to thank the poets we've had so far. Joel, Yogi, AKA, man, they got you feeling it right now. I'm going to give a shout out to a man on the other side of the pond, Mr. Cartier Jesus, because he was definitely one of those voices that came to make things possible for us. And hey, Cartier, man, I love you and much love to you and your lovely lady.
Cheers.
Yeah. Also, I want to give props to our good friend and my co-host at the coffee scene, Radar. And Radar don't get on the camera too much, so we're lucky to that notion. But he did contribute to our event, and I thank him for it. He's a heck of a man and a wonderful human being, and much love and respect to him. So thank you, sir, and everything like that. And as a matter of fact, as I bring Radar into the mix, this next artist was a woman who actually made me very happy, but I had trouble saying her name, and I was so embarrassed, and I'll be truthful with that. And so I just called her the Lady S. It was easy on my tongue. It was easy on my heart. And she showed why she was, first of all, a great poet. Lady first, great poet second. So, without any doubt, Lady S, how you doing here from Philadelphia?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're good, girl. You looking good too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am very, very excited to be here. I am going to do a piece that I've been doing for a couple of years. My son gets a little bit upset when I do it, but with everything going on in the current climate, I feel like I have no choice. So this is not, just for him, but this is for all the little boys, all the people around the world who's feeling this. This is to my black son. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you look north, you never look south. I'm sorry that you talk so loud. You know your mama has a mouth. I'm sorry that you grabbed your crotch before you knew what it was, and I told you your penis was a penis before you knew what it does. I'm sorry that you have that curly hair and that gap. You remind me of Malcolm X. And your swagger in that suit, it reminds me of Martin Luther King. I'm sorry. This is to my black son. I'm sorry that you will look like Trayvon Martin wearing a hoodie in the rain. I'm sorry that in this world, little black boys are slain. I'm sorry that you seem to scare George Zimmerman's over every century so much. I'm sorry that this world is so out of touch. So when you walk, they will see a big black man. And when you talk, they will hear a big black man. So the world has told you time and time again that even if you turn water into wine or resurrect the dead, they will hang you on a cross and stab thorns into your head. I'm sorry that there are still racists, that the Ku Klux Klan still exists, that people still live by Jim Crow, and that so many little black boys are out here in this world committing homicides, and they're really just committing mass genocide, baby. I'm sorry. But most of all, I'm sorry that I raised you to be a king. But you have to understand, it's the only way that a queen knows to raise her little man. So my son, he actually wrote me a poem to tell me he wasn't a martyr, and I respect that. But that is for everything that mothers go through right now. My second piece is actually from my book. I just did a book release. This picture, I'm using the special copy of mine, but that artwork was done by Yogi with Two Eyes. The Fayetteville community has always been there and been awesome. And this here is called Sarah Botman. Again, this is a tribute to a real historical figure named Sarah Botman. Many ask what the S is for. Sophisticated, sexy, sure, but for this poem, you can call me Sarah. Sarah with statopignia, Sarah Botman to be exact, and statopignia is extra fat from the buttocks to the knees. Englishmen labeled this a disease. I have an elongated Lydia, because wise women were teaching us about sex before Victoria had secrets, back when Pandora came out of boxes and not closets. We put in work to make sure our women squirt. But they shamed us, renamed us. My mother and father in their grave, they put me in a cage before do not feed the bear signs. There were please feed the nigger signs. Cage designs and rearrange in income. Where did 34 million white people come from to view my bare back? White women going, disgusting. I don't want a butt like that. I was put in a cage, sold to an animal trainer, a human exhibit negotiator, a nigger zoo. I was put behind bars to entertain you, made to dance in a leaf. I had a baby. Its stay here was brief as we both cried. I guess I'll see you next lifetime, because in this lifeline, these lights were not so sublime, but so much better than nighttime. When white men would double back to feel this bubble in my back, elongated Libya, I was extra sensitive to their touch as they rush, they thrust, they bust, they fucking raped me, and returned to the zoo in the morning to berate me. This life I was given was too tough, so they still don't know if it was smallpox, syphilis, or a broken heart. But at age 26, I'd had enough. But whoever said it will all be over when you die is a lie. Because they pickled me and put me on display. Started studies, scientists asking how I got this way. How they could get other races of women's butts to look like Jenny walking around that block. People came from England and Paris too to see how they could have a butt. And now they got Kim and Chloe dancing and dashing around with assets that I was told were just assets. I was thumbed and labeled a disease to have extra fat from the buttocks to the knees. Now look at these. TV, video vixens, still in my likeness without permission. So what is the S for? It's for the scar. And for the size, it's for the sadness when we were made to show our thighs. Maybe the S goes on the end of Hottentots, stolen away from home. But don't let your cell phone roam. 'Cause we went from cages to likes on pages. And now, the only empirical evidence that will let you know I was ever here is my Snapchat, my Instagram. Follow me. I am Sarah Botman, aka Shania Lady S. Thank you.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
man. Yeah, I'm speechless. You did a great job as always. And with things that, especially historical pieces, are always a little bit something interesting to deal with. I think you took a good approach on that one, and that's more than I could say. I mean, people got it going on.
Thank you so much, Neil.
So-
That means a lot from you.
Yeah, well, you look good, and it's good hearing you. So I'm blessed. This is a good evening for me. You have always been special to us. So, oh man, we're rolling out with that was Borders is intense. It's so good to see all of these people, because for a while I thought I wasn't going to see nobody for a while, and then I just let the energy within me rise up, and that's what we do. I want to give a shout out to another voice in Fayetteville I think should be recognized, Mr. Josephus Thomas. And he's up in the Greensboro area. But that brother came into the coffee scene several times, took his stuff on the road, and it's made a good thing happen up that way. So once again, we're just doing it. Pillars of Fayetteville. I've got some of the best in the business on the microphone tonight. You've been hearing them. I know you're getting blessed. Don't try to fool me. Don't try to lie to me. I'm getting blessed. So I know it's nice. Our next guest is a gentleman. Oh my gosh. Boy, we go long way back. Long way back. So we pulled out that bottle of whiskey. Me and him should have been able to share that together, but I will get you later for that. But never mind. You in Colorado. We will talk. Anyway, I'm going to give the energy to one of my former co-hosts, a gentleman who was a co-host for several other events and even worked with a lot of youth, including the Pathos team at Southview. But now he's doing that Colorado thing, and I know he's eating them up. Let's give it up for Mr. North Star.
Brother Neil.
Hey, bro.
Oh, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too. That beard look nice.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Goes great with that nice little apple taste.
Yeah. That's a mixture. That's a mixture. Take it away.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Those of y'all who know me, I know I tend to be rather loquacious, so I will try to keep this brief. I wrestled big time with what I was going to share tonight, but just like there are a couple of the other artists that performed before me are sharing some pieces out of conscience and conscious awareness of the climate. This is one that when I wrote it, the whole idea behind it, and this is something I think is very important for everybody on every side of every argument going on right now. All accountability starts and ends with self. All responsibility starts and ends with self. And that's what I was trying to deal with in this. This is called Revolution of Self. Even with my rose-tinted glasses collecting dust on the table, I still find myself questioning the things that I see and have seen, how I remember them. Cognizance is kaleidoscopic with past and present and alternating colors of confusion. My body shivers in the winds of time and change, but I, head down, chin up, I muddle through flights of thought, perusing possibilities previously unseen. You see, I invoke revolution of self. I disavow delusion and derision in favor of soulful emancipation, and trepidation has no place here, not in my space, and it should have none with you. Understand, having patience with the trials and tribulations of life is one thing, but no longer should you bind yourself for another satisfaction. You see, peace of mind is mine. Never has it been out of my reach, just as it has never been out of yours. Invoke revolution of self. Pull yourself from the mire. Cease your dance across the lines of procrastination, for you do nothing but prolong your own misery in favor of a self-defeating comfort zone, one that blinds you to the pain of those around you, numbs you to your own, even as you wallow in it. It gives me cause to ask, what will you do when the day comes where you must confront and acknowledge your own denial? When that day comes, what will you be? What will you say? What will you do when blaming the past comes with no use, when all of your rationale is just an excuse? One thing left is that face in the mirror staring back at you. What will you be? What will you say? What will you do when a child's cries become adult resentment, when your blessings are forgotten while longing for the things you didn't get, when this is the legacy you've left the next generation with, when your vibrance has become facade and your reality is stone, when the road that you're on is one you swore you'd never roam, when you finally see that it was your own choices that left you here alone? To where will you point the finger? At whom will you cast the blame? Better question. How far will you go to shine a new light in the dawning of the day? When the moment happens, will you move on it? When the feeling stirs, will you follow it? When the chance comes, will you seize it? Or will it be just another unfulfilled opportunity? When the stone finally crumbles, will you drop it and let it all go? When the warmth melts the cold, will you shed the ice from your soul? Because yes, we all know there are no takebacks for the times that you have let yourself or others down, but will you let that stop you on the day that love comes back to town? What will you be? What will you say? What will you do? For there's no better day than today to invoke revolution of self. Thank you. That was first piece. All right, and so on a kind of another side of that spectrum, with everything that we go through in this life, regardless of our particular hurdles, we wind up with our wounds, our scars. We wind up with our stories to tell. This piece started off with just me taking a very cliched concept among poets The excerpt from the book that I'll never write. And starting off working on that and then just allowing the thought to just kind of go. And, at the same time, answering the question, about the book that I keep saying I'm going to release and never do. So this is called Excerpt. This is an excerpt from the book that I'll never write. What is there to say that hasn't already been saved for another day, that isn't already tangled in involved confusion constituting the thoughts of minor sanctum? Sanctity, like sanity, is tenuous, treacherous, tedious, tenacious, ever fading, ever striving to assert and to maintain itself. Energy lost in tension, wringing art from anxiety like water from a cloth, rhythmic drip drop, drip drop, drip drop, drip drop in a pose-pulling piece of chaos, the mind's eye deciphering kaleidoscopic visions of quintessence, the likes of which cannot truly be perceived until one closes their eyes and opens their heart. Soul makes vulnerable their spirit to the tides ebb and flow, grow, not up, nor down, but forward, from and through the mire of recession, depression, disillusion, drop out from self-doubt and despair. The possibilities beheld by the sunrise in your eyes are waiting there. Now, this is an excerpt from the book that I didn't know I was already writing. Rebirth is never easy, nor is a definitive landmark on a map, rather a constant evolution. And yes, cliched as it sounds, you are more than the sum of your bruises and contusions, especially the invisible ones. The ones that would dampen your will and stifle your heart. The ones that would come at your confidence like a thief in the night. The ones that would leap upon a sense of self-worth to possess and twist it, turn it inside out, convince you it's all right that you can't stand the side of yourself. The worst part of that being belief in yourself, your own happiness. This is the most beautiful thing that you can ever cultivate. This is not a declaration of selfishness, but a declaration of self. It is from that place of taking the steps, big or small, that place where you stand even after the fall and go forth, that you shine so bright as to cast shadow on that which would bind, reveal the beauty of all there is to find. It is from that place you make the biggest difference in your life and, yes, in mine. All that you have to bless the world with begins there, in time. Now, this is an excerpt from the book that your lives will have written. And I know that sounds presumptuous. And maybe you can't see it now, but your essence fills its pages more and more each day. Pages of love and loss, pain and pleasure, pages of sadness defeated and happiness reborn. Pages as every sentence, every word, every syllable will speak volumes to someone else. Pages that connect you to a greater world and each of them to each other. Pages of you. Understand, we cannot always help what influences enter our lives, but we are the authors of our own existence. I'm going to say that again. We cannot always help what influences enter our lives, but we are the authors of our own existence. You can choose to hate, to loathe, to become bitter at the whims of things that are sometimes just circumstance. Or you can choose to live, to love, to write the book of your life deliberately, to make this seemingly meager existence last for an eternity. Thank you.
So you say you're loquacious or something like that.
I can't you. That was so awesome.
Thank you.
The beauty of what goes into the mix is about you, bro, is that you say it and you say it well. And
Thank you.
Present it well. So it's almost like you being a preacher.
I've been hearing that ever since I was a child.
Well, thank God I'm just saying that you might be one. I'm not saying that you are. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away.
Well, Brother Neil, I got to tell you, so much of where I've gone since March 1999, when I first walked up into the coffee scene, and then September 99, when I first started co-hosting with you, so much of it was inspired by you. All those nights, whether we were sitting together by ourselves or whether we were sitting with Ron Stringer, Glenn Carter, Richard Way, sitting with so many of the the younger coffee scene crew that I used to drive the baristas crazy with. So much of that all came from the place you created and the environment that you fostered. And everywhere I have gone since I left Fayetteville, every event I have ever done, you, LJ, there's Josh Carnes, Dick Ostrander, there's so many that I still talk to and reference, and it all comes back to the environment that you had at the coffee scene when I first showed up there and saw you hosting that event. And I thank you, and I appreciate you, and I love you, brother.
I love you too, man, and thank you very much. Enjoy Colorado.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, no, folks, that was just wonderful work. And, I give props to my friend North Star and all that good stuff. So thank you very much, sir, and all that good stuff. He was really hitting some really dynamics and everything. Because a lot of the poetry tonight will probably deal with a lot of current social issues, and I've always had a love for justice and equality and kindness and compassion. And I don't know why, if we're reading this book, nobody wants to do that. It amazes me. I'm befuddled by it because they want to interpret it their way. But I ain't gonna get carried on my little soapbox here. My head's bald and my throat will be thirsty soon. My next artist is a woman. Oh my God. I had the pleasure of doing many things with her. We've always had that little tick and tack, and it was always nice and comfortable. And she was always a light beacon and shining. As a matter of fact, she's the only woman or only other voice on my poetry CD, The Nightwalker Chronicles, Volume 1, Hearts. It's on CD, baby. I'm working on number 2 now. I might try to steal her somewhere down the line for some of that too. But we're going to work with her now as she is. And let her show you why she's so good. How about that, Misha?
Oh. Hi, Neil.
Hi, darling. How you doing?
Oh, goodness. I'm great. It's so good to see you, to hear you.
Well, it's good to see you too and feel your energy. So I know you're going to bless us.
I'm going to see what I can do.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to do some sort of kind of fresh ink. I haven't shared in a very long time. So it may have been shared. I'm not sure, but I have not written. I haven't performed. I am blessed and grateful to be here tonight with the other pillars of Fayetteville. So I'm just going to get right to it. This is a poem that is centered around a situation that happens that we don't hear about enough, and simply because women don't talk about it. So both poems are for my ladies tonight. I'm doing a little empowerment and awareness for the women tonight. So let's just get right to it. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Before I can even make sense of $1, it was shoved down my throat to silence me. Unconsciously fed to me by the one who only wanted the best for me, but coerced me with a sweet melody to keep me from crying out. It started during infancy. So it's no wonder we're so easy to pacify when we scream. One of the first words we said as toddlers was no. No, no, no. Adults thought it was cute since we could speak in a recognized language. So that anytime we say no is often overlooked as improficient chatter. Now, hearing that voiceless trite of no means no really means my word against his. My words. Soft, artful, witty, thought-provoking, encouraging, with nothing to gain but self-healing. His words, loud, authoritative, strong, rich with accolades that can buy him any and every mockingbird mama tried to hush me with. They say don't talk back to your elders, but what about when the pain he's inflicting into my fragile body makes me? Please don't confuse my muffled scream for disrespect or songs of pleasure. Blood is thicker than water, so why didn't they notice the thick puddle left in my ripped panties before he threw me in a tub of water to wash his sins away? If my body is a temple, then he just became Dylan Roof, except no one had to take him to Burger King in order for him to have his way with me. So due to my lack of words, he wrote himself a detailed sentence of not guilty. The untold story of too many women and girls whose internal scars cause an unfortunate domino effect for generations to come. But when we're taught to hush every time we cry, clearly no one has to guess the reason why it keeps happening. All right, thank you. That was my first poem. And my next poem is maybe on a lighter side. Sometimes I feel like I write too heavy, but writing was my therapy. That may be why I haven't written in a while. I'm in a very good place. I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. So maybe I'll try to write some lighter and cuter stuff. I don't know. But I'll go right into my next piece. Music blasting, the heart and soul of India Ari. As I sashay around my bedroom, feeling every shade of queen and goddess, one last glimpse into the reflective glass on my wall, I smile with the pride James Brown said it loud about. I was ready. A few steps later, my black cracked. My crown fell as if I had stepped into the ashes of a burning cross surrounded by hooded ghosts. He laughed and said, I know you don't think you're going out with your hair like that. From highly melanin-covered lips darker than mine, thicker than mine, I experienced racism and self-hate in my own home. The same lips that vowed to love and cherish had just hated and degraded in one exhale. So in this state of emotion, I allow ignorance to reply to his statement by asking, what's wrong with my hair? My question was probably worse than his original thesis. That question I regurgitated from my nauseous spirit was better left for the Fifth Amendment, but I've learned from experience that the First Amendment keeps me more regular than X-lax, so allow me to eliminate this. My hair is a crown. Regal, splendid, dark and lovely just for me. It'll relax when I die, but not really. Roots are deeper than the vagina of the most used ocean, strong enough to wave at the elements pouring from the sky while forming into softer, tighter curls without man-made chemicals. The Most High is my stylist. So yes, I am going out with my hair like that, defying gravity as it reaches for the sun and hugs him. Just as they needed to touch the hem of his garment, they asked to touch just a strand of my external soul. When I decide to not wrap this bare world wonder into a scarf or a head wrap, you should feel honored to be graced with my nakedness. History lessons can be read in every natural follicle. You can smell the fragrance of the sixth day after God created Mother Earth. You can hear the sobs of Mary as her baby, the Messiah, hung dying before her eyes. You can see all of creation ejecting from the pores of every root. You can taste the blood, sweat, and tears of soldiers, activists, and heroes that this world owes gratitude. You can feel the heartbeat of Africa in a rhythm that all continents can't help but dance to. So please, don't touch my hair. And neither will I, because yes, I am going out just like that. Thank you.
He should have accepted the good thing when he saw it. Anyway, I mean, don't be playing around with the hair, but as you can see, I take care of mine nicely.
It looks.
But we're so blessed to have you, Misha. I love you so much. You and I have gone back so far. One of those brilliant voices of the coffee scene always did me justice and made me and kept me aware. And that's, I can thank you. So thank you so much for sharing this moment. A true pillar of the city. And even though you haven't done anything for a while, you did enough to keep me and us very active.
Thank you so much, Neil. I love you.
I love you too, baby. Thanks a lot. Oh man, it's just rolling, 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 rolling. Raw. Ain't no rawhide in here, but we don't play the S&M and stuff. But anyway, people always told me I was a little bit crazy when I say things, but that's good. I'm not out of my realm, so this is wonderful. The next, as I bring in this next artist, I wanted to say, you've heard a variety of poetry this evening from these pillars. I mean, stuff going from in, out, up, down, north, south, east, west, Antarctica, Arctica, and whatever, cold fronts and all that good stuff. So it behooves me to bring in this next artist because he was a member of a group that brought in a good sound. And I first saw them, they were all making music and came to the coffee scene with drums. And there were several of them. And I liked it. They took advantage of what an open mic was and they made it open. So, hey, you can't do no better than that. And I've got him and this lovely lady sitting behind me. So it's going to be easy for me just to slide off to the stage left over here and let them do their thing and so forth. But let me bring in the power of Mr. Who and what's your name? Armenta. Mr. Who and Armenta. Let me slide over here. Let me get out the way. Yeah.
What up, y'all?
Hello. This is my first time ever performing. I don't want to do it. You guys are so good. I'm nervous, but I will start. This is me just paying homage to my pillar of Fayetteville and also the pillar in my home.
Thank you, baby.
This is for him. And it's called Who Made Me Love You? From day one, God possessed me with a vision to see beyond what you do, to see what you be. The essence of a man can't begin to describe thee. He is the pure decadence of flavor that helped to simmer all the ingredients in my pot. No disrespect to my moms and pops, but the love I feel is immeasurable in time, space, age, or race. He helps keep a smile on my face. For rich or for poor, those vows we recited never ignited the spark in me the way he pours out his heart to me. He holds a light in times of darkness. While we weather storms and he calls me his highness, he's my other self. Perfectly flawed and forever in awe as he brings me to heightened sensations built on foundations. Watch yourself and you'll see us both was the anthem. Never could I fathom such an understanding of loving others. Who could never be second fiddle? He always gets the red Skittles. Like little kids, we're figuring out riddles of life together.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yo, she was super nervous, y'all, baby. So well done.
Thank
so
you.
well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody got something to say? Everybody got something to say. That's just all about, right? Like that's what W's about. That's why it was so many of us, because everybody has something to say. We still WG. You a WG. You are a WG. Y'all WG. But she was a little nervous, spitting this, and especially hearing everybody else spit. But I'm like, yo, you are the cure. Like me as a man, it hurts to hear y'all talk about how hurt y'all are, So it's like, if there is a man in us, like, wouldn't we want to make at least one woman happy? Like, is that not our job? Like, shoot, if we can't do it to everybody, I saw my mom's upset. I used to want, ever since I was little, I wanted to make a woman happy. And it's such a blessing to be able to do it. It's such a blessing to hear your words from that perspective. Like Misha was talking about, where she could write from now. It's a blessing that you could write from there now. And I'm glad to be doing just simply my part. No credit. This is just a man's job to make you smile and to be sincere.
And I think,
you know, this is poetry, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't fail. We're not failing. You know what I mean? We got to have that, you know, that in us. Ain't nobody going to give it to us. We got to do it. You know? We can't fail, man. Look at what's going on. You know, ain't nobody going to love us if we don't love each other. You know, ain't nobody going to give up misery so that we can share love. You know, we already seen that part of ourselves, all the things that we've been put through. Like bro said, like Marshall said, what are we going to bring to it? Not just poetry, but the life, you know?
amen.
Thank you, baby. That wasn't a poem, but this is a poem. All right. It's called What She Do. All right. If I'm the pot, she the stew. I mean, there's hunger, but then there's taste. You're not just a meal, but the ideal place to dine on fine wine. You fill me with nutrition from intuition. Your emotions should never be undermined, but harmonized and refined, retuned and aligned with the senses you brought out of my mind. You created a teacher in me I never planned to be. You made me a father with no apologies, because it's mostly, because it's mostly the mom that shapes a dad, not just the children, but the reason you love the whole unity of connection. You put a face on affection and shared your collection of vibes to fill 2 record stores. Your storage is gorgeous. Your mortgage is enormous, but I would never ignore this. You my billfold, increase in my currency, keeping me stable in moments not counted by hands, but caressed by destiny. Beyond Beyonce, children and responsibility. You're life to me, sight to me, creating a vision of me I couldn't see without your eyes on me. No despise on me, you created me, my goddess of creating a we that only the creator God can marry, making you my church, my Eden, my covering of what I would be without her. What's the sky without the sun? It wouldn't even equal one day. But since the first day ever, we begun to shun time counted by anything that ceased. You are my everlasting prayer. I can't pray without your presence, my pre-essence of what? I'm your baby, a seed in your stems, as you mold me into the God that could accept a prayer from the goddess that created him. All praise due to my creator. I've been born again, but I was born a twin. My favorite friend is storm or wind. You're my climate. You made me cool in ways that surpass shade. My favorite teacher at every grade. Even your period told me to stop and consider your sentence. Now powerful paragraphs are written from this kitten. Learn to kill the blood clot crying and belly the mission into submission. You are my mission, cruising like Tom into impossibilities deemed impossible, but we pitch in and come out swinging. Since we was ditching, playing hooky, but you hooked me. Now watch you dancing in the kitchen, risky business, danger smitten, top gunner, range is missing. Pull it down. Too high to come down, too much flow in the ever drown. My mentee freed me. The whole of her head agreed to be the same place that agreed with me to be there for her. Your still waters rooted to forbidden fruits that stare at us with love and adoration, all because our love ain't just for us.
Amen.
Yeah, that was a poem.
That was
y'all for teaching me to do poetry. Word.
That was a hell of a poem.
Word. 500 is long, but you know, it's a day. Yes.
Oh, let me get my. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. I got to get my chair back in here, man. I was. Yeah. All this stuff. It's an after party going on here later on, no doubt. Somebody. But man, this is two loving birds in my house. Two lovebirds in my house, and I got a cat. So you know what I'm saying. I gotta keep in case I got a cat. I got two lovebirds in my house. I got the cat in the other room. She's sitting under the table just listening because she enjoying it too. This was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for doing that. You know, first time sharing that moment with him and everything. Oh man, this is so beautiful. I was moved to tears by both of them and everything like that. And I will cry, folks. So I ain't ashamed. I'm not ashamed to cry. I'm a man and I love it. I got to love it. You know. Woo.
We need it. We need love. It's tough.
Every day.
You might make it look easy, but it's tough out here loving.
Yes, we need to have it. And that brings in, after all of that, man, I've got to bring in somebody who, look, she was a part of the coffee scene. She got busy doing things, but we shared many things. And to this very day, she's one of the funniest women I have ever had the privilege of spending a road trip with. And will always say that. And just to hear her poetry is one thing, but the whole crew just nice. And that whole crew, one way or the other, they nice. I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna bring in the voice of Miss Prosperous Soul. Yeah. Look at that. Boy, you're glorified there. Come on in here, Miss Patty LaBelle.
All right. Hi, family.
How you doing?
Hey. And that's sending love and shouts out to family that may be watching. And then the family here, the Pillars of Fayetteville. We have been doing this for such a long time. And you know, we have branched out into different areas, and it feels really good to be still in the midst of everyone, and everyone's well and healthy, and we still have each other, and that means more to me than anything because this has been a crazy year. Yes, so the fact that we are still able to connect even in this way, and you know, go forth in the passion of the passion of our hearts and our love for the art is just amazing to me. I am actually in South Carolina. I had another event that I had to do, perform and host. So I stepped out. So I'm going to do one piece. This is my signature piece. And then I'm gonna run back in. But I didn't want to miss out in being a part of this. And I'm so thankful for LJ and Neil. You know, you guys have been carrying this thing and you keep going with it. And I'm just so grateful, so proud of y'all. And so everybody knows this piece. They say you shouldn't have a signature piece, but it kind of is my signature piece. But it's just me. It was me in the beginning, it's me now. It's probably gonna always be me because I'm forever and always growing. I did write something, but it's in my phone, and I found out that when I try to go back to it, it takes me out of the broadcast. So I was like, no. So I'm gonna do this. I was gonna do pieces, one of the new piece, and then my signature piece, and that's not gonna work for me. So here it goes. And like I said, everybody knows this piece. Don't say it with me though. This is called my Prosperous Soul piece because, of course, that's my that's who I am. And it's funny. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna jump into the piece. Y'all know I talk a lot, but I tried to get away from this name. I spoke with Yogi about it, and I was like, Yogi, you know, I kind of feel like I don't want to move forward as Prosperous Soul anymore. I just kind of want to be just Myra, just straight Myra. That's it. And she was like, well, just pray about it, meditate on it. And, you know, whatever your spirit agrees to, that's how you move forward. And Prosper Soul just won't leave me. And so it is what it is. So my soul looks back and wonder how I ever made it over. I mean, my spirit will get higher, but my spirit will get lower. Oh my God, how am I forgetting this poem, y'all? This is my signature piece. Okay, let me run it back. My soul looks back and wonder how I ever made it over. I mean, my praise will get higher, but my spirit will get lower. A spiritual warfare is what I found myself to be in. But with the world's weapons of warfare, there was no way that I can win. You see, my spirit need rested and my soul needed rest. I was a natural disaster. I was a spiritual mess, but I fought. I scratched, I crawled, I digged to get to this place, but I stand with much humility, no shame, no disgrace, but don't get it twisted. I still have my struggles. I'm still fighting, if you please. I'm still learning his ways, but my soul is dwelling at ease, and my soul thirsts after thee. I lift it up. I lift my soul up to thee. Oh God, wash me, that I may be whiter than snow. Oh God, purge me, that I may come out as pure gold. God, make me righteous. God, make me prosperous soul. And so it is. And so it is. But thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Charlotte. And I thank you for taking the time out from your busy schedule. I know you got stuff going on, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So much love to you. And
got that hand popping.
And hello to the crew. And,
I hear you, Mr. Who, back there. I hear you back there, Mr. Who.
He even brought his own fan club, so you can't be the man that travels like that. He like Sham. Shut your mouth. People like, stop playing all around. This is great, man. So great seeing some of these faces. I saw Josephus had dropped a line, and I want to say thank you, bro, and everything like that. And all the voices, man. There's so many people I can't even mention that helped us grow this thing. I do want to give a shout out though, or a moment of thought to two voices that really helped me at the coffee scene and did a lot for Fayetteville Poetry. One died too young, Brother Nick Roder, and the other one just recently passed away. That's Mr. Glenn Carter, who critiqued me on a poem one time and told me how to grow up. That was basically it. Even though I was mad, I had to grow up. He taught me that. So I remember, it's these guys that just make these guys, these women, that just did wonderful things. We've done some wonderful things to the scene and brought in many voices and many times. But one of the greater voices that ever came to us, along with Cartier, and they came as a team once, and I thought they were connected. They are, but they aren't. Okay, but either way, he inspired us with his words, and he took off and kept doing things. And one of the things I said earlier about being a host is you have to be committed. But to be an artist, you have to stay hungry. You always have to stay hungry, always looking for new stuff. And this young man, when I started this thing and I thought about the Southeastern region of North Carolina, I thought of him and Cartier because both of those guys are hungry. And he was able to take the reins. And over the years, he's done a magnificent job. And this baby is great. She's Fayetteville born and North Carolina State recognized for what she is. And he was a main part of making that happen. So I bring in Mr. LJ, the director of this event, the man of the thing. I ain't gonna say no more, because you got a nice crowd, bro. You got a nice crowd. You eat together. So,
oh man, I love you, Neil. Like I know everybody says that a lot to you. Been saying it all night, but I truly love you, Neil, for not only inspiring me, being a great mentor and a great friend. Like I can sit here and honestly say, I can't really say I look up to you as like a big brother. I honestly look up to you as a father figure when it comes to this, and I sincerely mean that. I've never said that to you, but I truly mean that. Like, thank you so much for everything you've done in the scene. Seriously, thank you.
Well, I am old, so I can work with it.
All right, let me go ahead and do these poems. Hey, so real quick, guys. I'm thankful for being on here. I'm thankful that we've been able to do this this is year 8. So I'm thankful that we're able to do this, put this thing together, and we were able to, me and the planning committee decide, like, put this particular event together, Pillars of Fayetteville, because there's so many people that's out here that's been putting in the work. And I mean, there's more folks out there that's not on here, but like the people that's on here now, they're definitely pillars in their own right. Between Neil Ray, North Star, and AKA Dick, when I came into the scene, they literally were like doing everything they can for the coffee scene, co-hosting the coffee scene, even at a point where North Star and AKA Dick was hosting their own event at the other coffee scene in Spout Springs and building upon that area. When it comes to Misha and Prosperous Soul, when I first came to the scene, I know them for doing like Christian poetry, man. I was like seeing that aspect because I've never seen that from a standpoint when I was going into the scene, because I came into the scene during the rated R days, and I seen them coming in and doing their poetry without having any curse words in it, along with like meeting Cartier around the time doing the same thing. Lady S, I met her when she stepped into Mojo's, and then I stumbled across Aquarius, which by far had the best chicken in the world. I love that chicken. It was fantastic. Mr. Who, and I need to go ahead and say this, Mr. Who, Wataru Guy Jeans was not just a group, they were a collective. Like, they literally had so many different types of artists under their umbrella, whether it's musicians, poets, lyricists, visual designers, everything. And I'm thankful for them. And I would be remiss if I don't talk about my sister, Yogi with Two Eyes. Yogi with Two Eyes, we were like the first two to go up to open mics. The first two literally before the host even got there. It will always be like the last two to leave. And the journey we've had doing poetry over the years and still supporting each other is one thing we can always say is no matter what happens, we always got each other back and we will always come through when we need to. So, yeah, man, let me go ahead and get these poems out the way. Y'all can't see her, but I got the missus next to me. Hey, baby. So I'm going to do 2 poems and then, yeah, man, this has been dope. This whole festival has been dope. So the first poem is kind of fresh inkish, and it's kind of fresh inkish. I did it like a long time ago when it was like still in its infant stage, and it's a short poem, but it's in this book that I got coming out actually next Saturday called 310, A Poetic Journey Through Life Hacks, which the titles are all life hacks, and there's a poem that go along with it. So this is my first poem, and it starts off with a life hack and then goes to the poem. So the life hack: use a highlighter to remove permanent marker stains off of your body. Boy wakes up. Boy goes to mirror. Boy sees dark skin. Boy sees dark skin as an error. Boy begins to question why he had to be born with it. Boy sees dark skin as a curse. Sees it as nothing more than what it may be worth. That being nothing. That being what the dark represents. Nothing. Boy remembers having a highlighter. Boy sees this as an opportunity. Boy remembers that highlighters can remove permanent marker stains from the body. Boy thinks that his skin is just that, a permanent marker stain that needs to be eradicated aggressively. Boy scribbles away. Boy thinks this is what it will take to be different. Thinks that it's the best way to be better, and it's the only way because it is better to erase the mistake and start all over from scratch. Boy sees that there is no change. Sees that no matter what you do to cover up your identity, identity will not let you escape who and what you are. Boy cries. Boy lays back down. Boy wonders if he should just stop thinking. and just let his thoughts fade away to black. Thank you. That is my first poem. That is my first poem shindig and everything. So I'm multitasking, so I'm not putting up all the stuff that y'all typing. So I'm doing that and doing poems. So my last poem. So our first poet Joe brought up something that's well should be recognized. This being Suicide Prevention Month, and me and Law had a chance to do something for the National Association of Mental Illness, speaking for Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And I just felt it's only right that I do this poem and take it from there. Some of y'all are familiar with the poem. If you're not, this is one of my personal favorites because it's a truth. It's a truth. And sometimes you get free when you put it out to existence. So that way you don't continuously live in the fear of that thought. So this poem is called It's a Wonderful Life. Every day up until now, I wake up, sit at the edge of my bed as if it was a bridge, thinking that today would be the day. The day when I let a bullet enter my head and convince my brain to play father leader on its way out. Or the day when the cops remove the noose so that my neck will show you the smile I've been dying for this world to see. I felt this world no longer held progress. The state of North Carolina revoked my passport to go overseas because they felt that no matter how many times me and my son get together and make music in the key of life, it won't let me escape the perception that the only thing a black father can produce is a dead beat. My job, they let me go after almost 10 years of working with them, which goes to show that no matter how long you hold on to things like water to a wash rag, things like this world will get rid of you once it has wrung you out to dry. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm reminded of what's to be expected. Because to be a male, it is expected for you to be strong and vigilant, to take nothing and make it into something. But what happens when you no longer can? What happens when that optimism within your voice begins to go silent and your depression becomes more of a black hole because the bigger it gets, the more the negative energy begins to pull you inside of it? You see, a friend once told me that the body is made up of over 60% of water and that crying is the slowest way of suicide. So I thought, if I dehydrate myself, that may be the best way to expedite this process. You see, the world was no longer in need of me, and all the friends and family that I drugged along the way would be better if I detox myself out of their system. When you have been beaten and broken, that you're just tired of rewriting your life story over and over and over again, the only thing you want to do is just rip it into shreds. But that was every day up until now. On this particular morning, I woke up hearing a voice whisper in my ear to tell me that if I was not here on this world, I would not know about the many things that I would have coming into this life. Like my mom once told me that the greatest gift God ever gave her was erasing the word abortion out of her mind, so that way I would know what it's like to taste my first breath. Or the fact that if I did not write a poem about my PTSD in the military, so Vex would not come to me and tell me that that poem became their voice when they had lost theirs to live. Or the fact that if I was not here, I would have not have met my wife, would not be the father to my sons, or to let you know that no matter what storm you are going through, the sun is fighting its way through the clouds and let you know it's still here to shine on you. You see, I have never met a Clarence on a Christmas day to tell me that it's a wonderful life. But I've been surrounded by so many guardian angels that they kept me safe from everything, even my own self-destruction. So today, I woke up knowing that today would be the day. Today, knowing that there's a phrase that says, it's okay to not be okay. But to also let you know that if you wake up again, then that means you are still meant to be here for a purpose. And it doesn't take a Christmas miracle to let you know that this life can and will always be a wonderful one. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all and I love y'all tremendously. Thank you. Try to get the host back on here. I'm messing up.
Thank you, sir. You know, I've got something to say, but it's two things. One is by a philosopher by the name of Schopenhauer. He's a German guy way back years ago. But he said that all truth passes through three stages. And the first is ridicule. The second, it is violent. But the third is self-evident. Tonight we have heard truth. And the whole festival we have heard truth. And the world has given us poets who are giving us truth, regardless. And some are right now sitting in dark alleyways and scared to let the world know what they're doing. But we are a light they can shine to because somebody somewhere heard us do something and it moved them to do something. And by them doing something, we planted that seed and they grew. And now we just have to go into the garden and harvest the fruit of that labor. So, second of all, just a short poem for all of you out there who get scared about writing.
Yes, still doing a poem. I'm getting off now. Hold on.
But we're scared of writing something. Just remember this. I thought about it. I thought about it. I thought about it. And then I grabbed a pencil and a paper so I could think about it again. So that's the way I've been doing this. I guess in a little speech about things like that. So much going on. I will give you this piece of poetry to remember me by. It was the first one. And I give you this in honor of my brother, Pillar of Fayetteville, Mr. Glenn Carter, who told me to go out and just be descriptive in all the surrealistic ways he understood. Moonlight on the moccasin run. And the message reads clear from the diamond-studded waters of Lake Baritone, and its promise has been foretold in whispers. And now the breath of marsh grass and water lilies find their way into the deepness and are held in the grasp of mist blue fingers. This cricket of nightbird and fireflies beguile twisting currents that move through shallows. And lovers will cascade silhouettes upon heartbeats that lap a cappella to cuddling shores, where passion has a fragrance of jasmine and a color of smoke blue. And so omnipotent are these over splendid palettes that speak of emotions, because here you will find the imaginations of lovers and fools sufficiently cloaked under the spell of that gypsy moon. And they will be blessed by the sound of 1,000 cranes who have reserved the privilege of speaking with God personally. Thank you, folks. I thank all the pillars. You guys are fantastic. You made my heart happy. It's so good to see so many of you. So good to hear from so many of you. And we miss all of you. Be safe around the world. Be safe for what you do. And remember, we love you. Much love to all of you guys. Much love to all of you guys, man. Much
love you
guys. You know,
so, man, thank y'all so much. I'm trying to bring up all of the pillars real quick that are still on this feed real quick. I know some of them had to leave because they had other stuff going on. I definitely, I'm probably trying to make sure I don't forget no names. I definitely want to thank the host, Mr. Neil Ray. Without Neil Ray putting in so much work over the years, we would not be doing any of this. Fun fact, and I'm going to put this out there. If you ever come to Fayetteville and go to Coffee Scene, even if it ain't the open mic going on, go upstairs and go to that table, because it is historic lore, because that table is what I heard pretty much started what they do now, and it's like the most consistent person there, or consistent thing there. So give props to that table. But definitely give shouts out to North Star, aka Dick, Yogi with 2 eyes, Misha the Lioness, Lady S, Mr. Who, Myra, Prosperous Soul, and Joe Mayo. They are phenomenal. and they are definitely pillars of the community. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this festival. Our last bit of what we're about to do is now we can take a break and kick off our shoes and party. So give us about 15 minutes. We will be going into our first ever SERNC after party, which will be powered by DJ Prodigy and Misfits Radio, coming all the way from San Diego, California. So it's about to be a blast. I'm about to go ahead and get my red cup ready. And to also let you guys know, if you are watching this on YouTube, please go to Facebook and look up the Southeastern Regional North Carolina Poetry Festival page, because the after party will only be streamed on Facebook. I was going to try to do it on YouTube, but it's going to be too many loops around getting the music played. So after party is going to be on Facebook. So you're welcome. It's free. We're letting you in for free. Come through. So we love you guys. Please be safe and always remember to be yourself. And all good things come to those that remain true. Purpose over popularity. We love you guys.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yo, man.